We're still having more earnings as we get to the deep end of the earnings season. So dive with me with Robert Omotunde from Afrinvest as the head of research as he brings his voice to those earnings, trying to unpack them for you, helping you make sense of it all. Robert, good morning. It's good to have you.
Thank you, Boason.
Great time to be here. Let's push the banks aside and talk about the non-banks. Which of these earnings is grabbing your attention?
Well, if you check across all the companies that have released so far, beyond the banks, like you mentioned, no particular company has been really exciting because if you check across the consumer goods space, we've seen Nigerian Breweries results, in the conglomerate space, we've seen USCN, in the agri space, we've seen Presco and Omotunde, and is either one. Of course, you've seen Nigerian Breweries also in the consumer goods space, and one issue keeps recurring. You see a situation where most of the companies are, barely growing their revenue. For Nigerian Breweries, for example, revenue was flat. You look at USCN, we saw a significant decline in revenue. For the agri companies like Presco and Omotunde, Omotunde had some sort of 7% growth in revenue, but Presco was down. Nestle particularly was, perhaps a stock or a company that was able to release sort of an impressive top line result, and the general macroeconomic environment, has been, playing out on most of these companies. You recall that we've seen some sort of recovery in, macroeconomic developments, coming out of recession. But, the momentum of recovery has been sort of weak, in terms of how companies are able to benefit, and translating all of this into positive numbers. So, and again, from the earnings side, the major thing that you highlighted is sort of moderation in finance costs, across board for most of the consumer and agri companies that have released their results, and again, this is not particularly able to excite in translating into higher profitability as we've seen major declines. We could analyze different factors that would have been responsible for this, but generally speaking, earnings have not been we may say they've not been disappointing, so to speak, but they've not also been exciting as well.
And you're looking just not as excited as those earnings you're talking about. You're not looking really excited at all. So it's a bit of all this conversation, what you just said, is coming from the fiscal space, from the broader economy.
Yes. Typically, you will see that for most of the consumer goods companies, for example, the developments in the economy, will always play out. Like I was saying, that we can analyze the different factors. For Nigerian breweries, for example, is in the brewery space. You saw that there was a major, they recorded some decline in their profitability. This would have been, of course, traceable to the policy of government, an increasing tariff on brewery product, which again we believe that they possibly were not able to translate this to prices, given the competition in the industry. When you look at the agri space, development in global CPO markets, also affected prices, of major, their major raw material, CPO, for example. And if you look at USCN, which posted, though it's a conglomerate, it reflects again the much of activities going on in the economy, and now all of these are translating into numbers. So definitely, the recovery in the economy has not been as the momentum of recovery has not been as exciting as we would expect, and definitely something has to, give way before we can begin to see the translation into numbers for most of the companies.